What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? It's your boy 49er Dion here, back with another video. So definitely please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, let's get right on into it. As you see the ticker across the bottom, if you'd like to support the channel, definitely please go ahead and shoot on over to patreon.com/Niner Game Podcast. That is where you are able to support the channel if you so choose. If not, I just appreciate you listening to me rambling. You watching three streams right now? Ooh, geez, man. You're on a lot right now, Matt. I just left Nitty Gritty Niners. Shout out to Nitty Gritty Niners. If you have not went ahead and liked and subscribed that, definitely hit there too. Shout out to Breezy. Shout out to Peachy. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Roy Boy? Shout out to uh, everybody that comes on the show. Donnie's in school. He's been a little AWOL here and there, but school is more important, man. You got to get that education, man. And shout out to the young lady that's on there. I always forget her name, and I feel really horrible for it. But shout out to those people. So we talking offensive linemen today, people. And the beauty of the offensive line is this is what keeps Jimmy G upright. This is what keeps Nick Mullins, C.J. Beathard. These are the guys that you put in front of you. You put these five dudes in front of you and say, hey, can these guys keep me upright? Can they stop these four to sometimes even five, six, seven, eight, pass rushers from getting in and going ahead and getting to things and getting to me in general? So right now we are at a crossroads with the offensive line, strictly based on the fact that we have some people going out and we may most likely have some people going in. Yes, everybody is happy. I will take that moment to acknowledge the Chiefs got that ass handed to them. Three field goals, no touchdowns. Pat Mahomes was shut down. Tyreek Hill shut down. Travis Kelsey shut down. Like it was the perfect storm, man. Brady came in there. Brady and Gronk came in there and took it to him. Yes, sir. They definitely did. But with that being said, yeah, I'm gonna get all into it, Matt. I'm gonna get all into it because that's definitely one of my things. You know, me and you agree on that. So, with the guys that we currently have on the roster, this is just what I'm looking at. We currently have Mike McGlinchey, Weston Richburg, Lakin Tomlinson, Jake Brendel, Justin School, and Colton McKivitz. Now, the 49ers free agent offensive linemen consist of Trent Williams, Tom Compton, Ben Garland, Ronas Grossu, Tony Bergstrom, and Daniel Brunskill. Now, we basically had Tony Bergstrom in there just because it was like a last minute thing. The season was riddled with injuries continuously, which is unfortunately just like the worst thing in the world. So we were rotating in linemen, we were rotating in receivers, we were rotating quarterbacks. I mean, we rotated every damn position on the field. But with the offensive line, the one thing you don't want to do is rotate that because they have to build a cohesiveness. And what I mean by that is you got to have a center who recognizes everything that the defense is doing, who knows to call out who to block, who knows what the defense is going to do before they do it. You have to have that smart guy. Click X Factor, what's going on? Hey, Mom, I love you too. Um, yeah, you're right, Click. It is a boring position because you can't really get stats on an offensive lineman. You get your pancakes. How many sacks did you really give up? All that stuff. Um, let's see here. Okay, Matt says Brady has done a lot for us. He ended the Legion of Boom, and the greatest show on turf, and he beat the Chiefs, and he was a Niner fan. This is true. Brady has done some nice things for us. That's definitely true. But I'm not going to thank him for nothing. But yeah, it's definitely the most important click X factor. You are correct on that one. So basically, um, thanks for that, Roy boy. Appreciate that. Um, so with that being said, we know who's on the roster. We know the guys that are potential free agents. So other guys on the roster, let's just get into it. Mike McGlinchey. Been a disappointment continuously throughout the year. Mike is a great run blocker. He sucks at pass blocking. His pass pro is very suspect. You don't know what you're going to get from him week in and week out when it comes to that. And when you get bowled over by a defensive back, when you don't, um, wind up getting things done in the right way with these defensive ends, and they just killing you to just simple moves, man, just getting by you, blowing by you. You go on the 49ers YouTube and call us all couch quarterbacks and all this other stuff. But then when we come with the proof, there ain't nothing to say. That's how somebody put up on Twitter, a bunch of things that showed that he, a bunch of different ways he was getting beaten, and these are in different games. So his inconsistency is, what frustrates all of us as Niner fans. So McGlinchey is there. He is our right tackle. I doubt he's going anywhere because we don't necessarily have a replacement. And that all depends on how the line shakes up. And the way the line can be pieced together is extremely complex, but at the same time, it can still be a beautiful thing. So for me, like I like the line to be something where it's the same people consistently. They build the cohesiveness. The center knows exactly what's happening. The bookend tackles are great, and the guards are perfect for doing what they need to do. But it's never that simple, especially when you had a rash of injuries like we had. So that being said, McGlinchey is our starting right tackle. We don't necessarily have another option unless we find somebody in the draft that we feel is going to be great. There just isn't currently an option. So next guy that's still on the roster as of right now is going to be Weston Richburg. Now, Weston Richburg has been injured beyond injury. Like the guy just doesn't play very well. I'm gonna get to that quick X factor. Don't worry. I saw the comment. That's and there's more behind that. So y'all are pressing forward to get a little head in the conversation, but I'm with you on it. I'm with you on it. So um, when it comes to Weston Richburg, like I said, he's been injured, man. He's just constantly injured. He can't come back. Oh, he's gonna come back. Then he's not gonna come back. Then he's gonna come back. He's not. It's too much back and forth, too much wishy-washy, and we're paying him way too much money, man. So at this point, if Richburg wants to stay, I say we make sure he gets healthy. He can pass the physical. Cut his ass. Cut him. Bring him back at a cheaper price. I don't mind that. But I don't want to pay Weston Richburg no starting center money, and he can't even be on the field to really earn his goddamn paycheck. I understand injuries happen. I understand this is football. These are the way that things work. But it's a consistency with his injuries. He's just injury prone at this point. And you don't pay injury prone players like that. You just don't because you know you're never going to get a full season out of them. It's just like for the life of me, I still don't understand why everybody kept paying Sam Bradford. He always had double-digit $1 million contracts, but the man couldn't stay on the field for more than 5 minutes to save his life. You knew you was going to get at least 8 games out of him. You knew that. 8 games at a max. But after that, he was going to get injured, and he wouldn't play for the rest of the year. So the man robbed the league for plenty of money, but hey, it is what it is. He played the most important position on the field, so you get paid exorbitant amounts of money. But for Richburg, everybody loves his talents. Everybody says he's great when it comes to being that guy to be on the line, see what happens, see what goes on. And then at the same time, when we got Richburg from the Giants, it was a trash situation. You know what I mean? So it's definitely frustrating when you see it. So I'm like, oh, I don't, I like him, but I want him back at a cheaper price. Like reconstruct his contract, cut him, bring him back. I don't care what you do, but don't pay him the kind of money that he's getting paid and he can't even stay on the field to even earn his paycheck. That's something that I don't really care for and I don't never like. So we'll move on from that because I could rant on that for days. Lakin Tomlinson. Lakin Tomlinson played admirably. He's probably our most consistent offensive lineman that we've had over the years. 49 Lakers for life. What's happening, fam? Lakin Tomlinson, what did he say? I know you were a DB with YA quarterback, so much when I asked you what you thought about Herbert winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. I didn't seem upset about that. I never played defensive back. I always ran track. I never played football. I love defensive back. It is my favorite position, Matt. But the situation with that was I felt like Justin Jefferson did more for his team, and he was better. And at the same time, they had a better record as well. Like, I don't know, Justin Jefferson just seemed to be a better pick for offensive rookie of the year for me, rather than Justin Herbert. Not to take anything away from Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is an amazing quarterback. He's going to be a great quarterback for years to come. Got the size, got the stature, got the arm, got everything. But I feel like Justin Jefferson just was way better, bro. And for me, from a statistical standpoint, and then just knowing what he can do, you got to think about it. They traded Stephon Diggs, who's one of the top receivers in the league. He's top five, maybe top 10 at a bare minimum. And when they left Stephon Diggs going, they drafted this kid. They didn't know what they were getting. And JJ just came in and balled out. So you can't get mad at the dude. I can't get mad at the guy for going in and balling out. It's they really truthfully didn't miss a step, and it's extremely hard to replace a receiver and hope that you don't miss a step, and that's what happened. When Herbert came in, yeah, he balled. He had a couple of good throws. He's got a nice big arm. He's got everything. But I feel like the reason that I have an issue with quarterbacks is because they get too much love. It's like an overabundance of love. You know what I mean? And that's my biggest issue. It's always them. Quarterback get the 100, 200. Look at Pat Mahomes got a $500 million contract. But defensive ends are just as important. So are defensive backs. So are wide receivers. So are running backs. There's even some offensive linemen that are invaluable. So it's the the leverage that the quarterback has. It's like, hey, Deshaun Watson don't want to play for the Texans. Texans don't want to trade him. Well, they'll just find themselves at a crossroad and try to figure it out. But back to the topic, I was just touching on that for you, Matt. So Laken Tomlinson has been good for the past, couple of years. I know everybody looks at him and they say, oh, they nitpick certain plays and say, oh, well, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. I get it. Nobody's going to be perfect on the line. It's just not going to happen. But at the end of the day, with Laken Tomlinson, what I can tell you is that man did his job. He had no problem doing his job, and he was healthy. You know how hard it was for us to find a healthy lineman the whole damn season? It was ridiculous. We went through several different centers. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Brunskill literally can play any position on the goddamn offensive line that we need him to. He can play left tackle, right tackle, guard, and or center. So I think it would have been, yeah, he would have needed ridiculous, spectacular numbers to be able to overtake him at. But Laken Tomlinson did a fantastic job. He stayed healthy. I like him. I don't think there's too many negative things about him. And I think that we keep him and we keep moving forward with him. We keep him at left guard. We got him tied for like dirt cheap too right now. So I figure you keep him and you keep moving with that. Jake Brendel, more so uh, a scout team kind of guy, like our practice squad dude. I know they assigned him, but he never really made the squad. If he was active for any of the games, he was one of those dudes just a backup. He probably wouldn't go see the field, but from the sideline, same way as a lot of players did, even with Kevin White. Um, Justin School. Now, School is a bit of an enigma. Here's the reason why. Justin School he played admirably that year, when we went to the Super Bowl because he was playing left tackle. He was doing, but School gets ate up by elite pass rushers. So you don't know what to do. Hey, what's happening to Horatio Flores? I see you, baby. Um, it's just frustration. Um, you have a guy who has talent, but you don't know what you're gonna get from week to week, depending on the pass rusher. School played very decent in 2019. But you know what happened? He got ate up by Myles Garrett, and they pulled his ass and they put in Daniel Brunskill at left tackle, and we were all right. You know what I mean? If Daniel Brunskill had to play right tackle, we'd be all right. Like if there's differences. Some guys bring different things to the table. I like School. He's here. I say probably if they don't feel that he's a good backup tackle, you can continue to keep him as a swing tackle, but you might want to try him out at guard. Maybe that's a more natural position for him. You know what I'm saying? Doing the pulling and the running and certain things like that. That may work out a little bit better, because when you are a tackle, you have to be ready for that guy coming off that edge. And at the same time, you have to know how he's going to move, what he does, what his favorite move is, what his go-to is, learn his tendencies, all of that. That's that film study that becomes invaluable. You need to have that time. So I like School. I like him a lot, but we don't really know what he is. So we have to take our time with him, continue to keep him on squad. He's a great backup. And I think he could play admirably if we probably threw him in the guard. I think he might be better suited at that position. And then the last guy that we currently have on the roster um, is Colton McKivitz. Now, McKivitz has played in college left tackle, and he's played, I believe, right guard as well. So the thing is, Shanahan loves to have guys on his squad that are versatile. So if you're playing on offensive line, he wants you to be able to play every position on the line if you need to. If you're playing tackle, he wants you to be able to play guard and center as well. Um, the only people they're not going to ask that of is more so probably your Trent Williams or your Mike McGlinchey's or something like that. Because those are your booking tackles. You don't want to move them around. But you can try to tell Lakin or Daniel or anyone else or Colton McKivitz, hey, I need you to play center today. Figure it out. Get it going. We're going to get this rolling. This is what we're going to do. So McKivitz is a very promising young rookie that we drafted. I believe he went to, I think it's Virginia Tech. No, he didn't play for the Hokies. He played for another team. They're in the Mountain West, but the school escapes me right now, so don't judge me. But he's a good backup. I think we keep him as a depth piece, and if we can get some of the guys back that we need to, then we'll be fine. Now the issue is with these free agents that we have. So here's how I look at it. It's going to be very simple for me. So the free agents, Trent Williams, must sign, gotta have. We need that left tackle, and we need him to stay here. As I've said, with anybody that's going to resign with the 49ers, for right now at this moment, what we need is guys to understand they need to take a little bit of a discount because, West Virginia. Thank you. Thank you, Roy Boy, because I could not get it for the life of me. I knew their colors were like blue, white, and yellow, but it wouldn't click. You're right. Colton McKivitz, West Virginia. But Trent Williams, we need him. We have to have him. This guy is a must. He has to stay. We re-sign him. We solidify the left tackle spot, and we give Trent Williams like a 3 to 4 year deal. But you just let him know, hey, look, we're going to give you the money. We'll get you on the back end next year because basically we have to do what we can. And yes, you're right, Matt. Trent is definitely a second pair of eyes. Left tackles are the guys who protect the blind side, and we need it. Tom Compton, bye. Go away. Go away. I don't have time for you, Tom Compton. Don't want you, don't need you. Play like crap. You look like crap. Forget it. And then the next thing is Ben Garland. Need him. You need him. If you get rid of Weston Richburg, you can get Ben Garland. Ben Garland played great at center. Love the guy. Hronis Grasu. I'd keep him as a backup depth piece for the center position so we can keep Daniel Brunskill at the goddamn guard position where the fuck he belongs instead of putting him at center, and then we have to Mickey Mouse around with the damn offensive line. I don't like that. So I say, yes, put him at center. If you sign Ben Garland and Hronis Grasu to some, nice little small lucrative deals and give them, some incentives, as far as based off of like us making it to the playoffs and things of that nature, whatever the case may be, however you incentivize a offensive lineman, whatever the case may be, that'd be great. Tony Bergstrom, like I said, he was just brought in as a last-minute guy. Don't need him, he can leave. Daniel Brunskill. Now, here's the guy outside of Trent Williams that we have to have. The reason being is because Daniel Brunskill is that utility knife, Swiss Army knife that we have on the offensive line. The guy can play anywhere, and we have to have a dude like that. We primarily would love for him to stay at right guard because the way the line would have broke down would have been Trent, Lakin, if he was ever healthy, Weston, and then Daniel Brunskill and Mike McGlinchey. And I think that line would be a very solid line. Yeah, like I said, the way you can mix the lines up is definitely very, very intricate. So you can do it, but the consistency, the cohesiveness that the line must build throughout the year so they know what the other guy's doing before they do it, as far as the guys on the line. If Weston is healthy and he actually boy says, okay, well, Lakin typically does this, and this, I know how to do that. Okay, Daniel's over here and he does this, and this, so I know how to do that. Or I'm playing against this defense and they're doing this, and I can call out this. I can say these words. all types of things. Peyton Manning had his offensive linemen learn Gaelic, which is a different language, and they all had to learn it because when he was at the line, he didn't want to call out regular stuff so people could pick up on it and know what he meant. He was speaking Gaelic on the line, so those dudes were like, "What?" Like the people on the other side of the ball, defensive guys, are, "What the fuck is he talking about?" We didn't even know that. But if you understand it, you listen to it, you say, "Okay, this is what he means." So you make sense of it. Um, just touching on that real quick, yes, 49ers did re-sign Josh Rosen as a backup, and we did re-sign the young kid Austin Walter. He most likely will be on our practice squad because currently, right now, we have Austin Walter, Jermichael Hasty, Raheem the Dream, and Jeff Wilson Jr. as our running backs. But Josh Rosen will be coming back next year, and I think they might feel like he'll be a good practice squad quarterback, or he might just be a good backup in general. And they may be finally letting go of CJ and Nick Mullins. Um, I don't know if they're gonna let go of CJ because Kyle is one of those people who always wants to keep his people. Hey, what's happening, Ronnie? How you doing? He always wants to keep his people that he drafted because he doesn't want to look like a failure. But hey, look, man, the draft is hit or miss. We all don't hit on everybody that we have. Um, so, uh, with that being said, Daniel Brunskill is a must. So, out of our free agent linemen, we want to keep Trent Williams, we want to keep Daniel Brunskill, and at a bare minimum, Ben Garland. Tom Compton and Tony Bergstrom, we don't really need. Grasu, if we decide to go ahead and cut Weston Richburg, then yes, Grasu would be a definitely perfect backup because he seemed to be able to play the position very well. He did good for the time that he was there, and that's what I like. Now we can jump over to the offensive linemen that are free agents next year. Now, we don't have a ton of cap space. This is why I've been hollering to cut certain players so we can open up some money. You've got to go ahead and get rid of D Ford. You got to go ahead and get rid of Weston Richburg or restructure Weston Richburg's contract because you need to free up more money to be able to get guys in here. They see what type of franchise it is. They know the leadership. They know the understanding. But the thing is we don't have a lot of money. A lot of the guys that we want to keep that are free agents, which is probably about at least about 14 or 15 out of the 41 free agents, 41, 42 free agents that we have are probably going to go elsewhere. And I can tell you right now, the Jets got a hell of a lot of money. And Robert Saleh's got a hell of a lot of connection to a lot of defensive players that we have. And I guarantee you he'll take their asses over there and turn them into bona fide football players and stars if they can stay their ass healthy. I already know how that works. So we'll take a look at it and see what we got. But for free agents, here's the thing. You got Brandon Scherf, guard. We can use another guard. I'm okay with that. Joe Tooney, guard. I think he played for the Patriots. Definitely, I'm well worked with that. We already talked about Trent Williams. Now here's the key guy, Alex Mack. Alex Mack played for Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta when Shanahan was there making his bones and basically stating his case to be a head coach. And Alex Mack has come out publicly. There was an article that was written where he did state, he interviewed and they asked him, hey, what do you think of going back to Kyle Shanahan? He said it's definitely an interesting thing. If the numbers and figures look right, I would love to go ahead and play for Kyle Shanahan again. If you get Alex Mack, you automatically cut Weston Richburg out. You cut him, period. You just let him go. Boom. I don't care what it is. I'm going to take my little cap hit for whatever money I actually owe you, but get the fuck out of here because I don't need you anyway. You sign Alex Mack, you re-sign Ben Garland, and you call it a day. And if you can somehow sneak Aaron Grasu onto the damn practice squad, boom, you have three centers. You have one that's a bona fide star. He already knows the system. He knows how it's going to work. All he has to do is come in and learn certain nuances. That's very simple. Then if you can re-sign Trent Williams and get him on board along with it, now you've even solidified the line even more. So you got to think about it. You got Williams, you got Laken Tomlinson. You possibly could have Alex Mack if we were to sign him. You have Daniel Brunskill, and then if you re-sign him, and then you re-sign, and then you already have Mike McGlinchey. That's a solid enough line to get us where we need to go to be able to do what we need to do. And then what you do is you give those guys that time, that cohesiveness, and you let them work with each other. And you take that offensive line coach and tell them, hey, man, get this shit together. Make sure these guys is working right. So those are some dudes, and I would love to have Alex Mack back, with Kyle Shanahan. For the left tackle position, if we can't re-sign Trent Williams, Russell Okung is out there. Okung was a very highly drafted tackle. I believe he was drafted in the first or second round, if I'm not mistaken. He's still a great left tackle. I know he played for Seattle, but hey, the NFC West always changes and switches players all the damn time, so I don't think it's a big deal. Um, and then we got Villanueva from Pittsburgh. I would love to have him there. He was a great left tackle for Big Ben Roethlisberger all those years in Pittsburgh, man. So that's another guy that would be great. Um, J.R. Sweezy, he's a guard. He was playing for the Cardinals, but Sweezy is good. Sweezy's not bad. He's a pretty good guard. Um, Joe Looney, the center for Dallas. He's out there on the free agent market. Don't know if Jerry's going to give him some money to be able to keep him, but I'll take it. Hey, at one point, Dallas had, the offensive line that was star-studded, and they were touted the best offensive line in the game. So I'll go ahead and take, Joe Looney out of Dallas. Kalichi Osemele, he's out there. He's a guard. He was from Kansas City. So, they just lost. So he might walk, take his money, go elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? DJ Fluker, he's a guard in Baltimore. He's available. Another guy who was a first round talent. He's still out there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we have options, guys, to be able to re-sign. But it's all in what, Shanahan and Lynch think is going to be best for, things going. Oh, hey, what's going on, ZR Rider Zone? This is actually not Kool-Aid. This is tea, man. I'm an avid tea drinker. I don't drink Kool-Aid. I try not to put a lot of sugar in it just because sugar builds fat. But this is tea. This is actually a mixture of teas, man. I got so many different teas. I don't know what's in here. I can tell you right now, it's all like Teavana. So it's all natural and organic and stuff like that. That's basically how it works. But tea is amazing. I love teas. I could do a whole damn show just on the teas that I drink, what I like, what I don't like. But basically, we have those options, guys. So it's definitely a great thing, man, when you have all those options and the availability. The only question mark is we don't have the money. So we need those guys to understand that. We need Parag to work his magic with these contracts to be able to make this stuff a lucrative deal for people to be able to come in, for us to be able to do things the right way and be able to get people paid, and at the same time, we need to do the right thing in the first round. And to be honest with you, with them re-signing Josh Rosen, I think you're sticking with Jimmy G. Because at this point, nobody's going to give a big enough haul for Deshaun Watson for him to wind up leaving. And I doubt they're going to trade him for, small things. You're going to have to probably give up at least 3 first-round picks. And you're going to have to give your starting quarterback. So for me, if I'm a GM and I'm trading for Deshaun Watson, I'm giving you draft picks. I'll give you draft picks and only one starting quarterback, but I'm not giving you anything else. You get one player out of me. And basically that means I'm giving you another franchise quarterback. May not be the one you want, may not be the guy that you like, but it's going to be the dude that's starting on my squad currently, and that's going to be it. It's offensive line. I hope it looks like this next year. I hope. This is what I'm looking for. Trent Williams to be re-signed. Give him his money. He's good. Keep Laken Tomlinson. Cut Weston Richburg. Insert Alex Mack. Re-sign Daniel Brunskill. Give him some money. Put him back at right guard where he belongs, where he's supposed to be. You go ahead and you have Michael Lynch. Now, with your backups, you have Justin School at your swing tackle. You still have Colton McKivitz. You make him figure out both guard positions, and you do that. You re-sign Ben Garland to be able to play center behind Alex Mack. You know what I mean? And probably in the draft, you pick up a couple of no-name dudes that start working their way into it. You let this kid Jake Brendel get some more work. Like, you do these things, and you build the cohesiveness of the offensive line throughout the year. And with Alex Mack running the line, we would be perfectly fine. There would be no issues. I know we would be okay because he knows the system and he's very good at reading defenses. So If you put that kind of a line together, Jimmy G should have at least 4 to 5 seconds to throw. That means you can go through each individual read, and you should be able to get a guy and hit him right when he needs to be hit. And the other thing is just putting the ball in the right place. A lot of the times, the biggest issue with these dudes is they don't put the ball in the right spot. You're throwing the ball behind the guy. That touchdown that Jeff Wilson Jr. had in the Arizona game when he won it for us, the ball was behind him. He's running, and he has to torque his body back like this to catch the ball, bring it over his shoulder, tuck it in high and tight, and get in that end zone. So you got to think about that. If you have the time, it's because your offensive line held up. You know what I mean? That's because you had that big hog and Trent Williams over there, and then Mike McGlinchey doing his thing, trying to get better at his pass pro. And I hope he goes and works out with some dudes that understand pass pro way better than he does, so he can understand how to be able to beat, not get beat by these elite offensive, defensive linemen. But the beauty of it is we have the options. If we make the roster moves that we need to make to be able to free up the cash that we need to free up. We don't have a lot of money. You know what I mean? So right now, we need to just get that bread up, get everything working out. Okay, I see that. You said there's one guy who thinks we should trade Jimmy D Ford for Kirk Cousins and Danielle Hunter. The only thing to trade. Yeah, you'll never see a trade like that. Remember one thing, man. People will always have outrageous claims, man. It's just everybody wants the weirdest things in the world, and you'll never see a trade like that. You're never gonna get those kind of things. I like Danielle Hunter though. Danielle Hunter is nice. He nice. He dumb nice. And yeah, nobody wants Kirk Cousins. I want nothing to do with Kirk Cousins. And I think that, if anything, Minnesota would keep him anyway. They wouldn't trade him. They have no viable option behind him. Excuse me. So currently we sit at number 12 in the draft. And we are definitely, hopefully, going to get better with the draft. But right now, that's what we're looking at, guys. That's what the offensive line would look. That's how it would be, put together the best way I can think of. You know what I mean? I don't doubt that. No, I know his stats, man. The new Hunter is definitely a viable option. But when it comes to this situation, it's more so about the offensive line, how we construct it, how cohesive they are, and the consistency of everyone staying healthy throughout the year. I mean, I understand a little nick or a bruise for maybe a week or two, but this 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks can't get you back into the game because this is hurting, that's hurting, that's hurting. We need to figure out what's going on with the strength and conditioning staff, or what's happening. We need to stop playing, in MetLife Stadium because that field was trash and took out 2 of our edge rushers in seconds. Like, there's got to be different ways for us to be able to nip these injuries in the bud so they don't kill us and wind up having us on the back, having us back in the negative saddle for the next year. Yeah, he definitely did. I saw Bruce Arians, when he did what he did. It's more so a situation where what happened with Kansas City was their game plan worked perfectly because it shut down everything. Like, they basically rushed 4 and got enough pressure with those 4, which is what we were trying to do. But the thing is we didn't have that other viable edge rusher. If D Ford would have been like healthy, then yeah, we could have done those things and gotten to him. And at the same time, if we had a couple of calls that went our way, because they seem to call every kind of holding call on them then, but you're playing against Tom Brady, so what you expect? Even though Brady isn't the one on defense doing anything, he's on the offense, it is a serious situation. Oh, nah, man, that was somebody, I think, hitting their alarm for their car or something, man. Nah, I don't live near no trains. But that's how the offensive line should be constructed, guys. I would love to see it. You have Trent Williams at left tackle, Lakin Tomlinson at left guard, Alex Mack at center, Daniel Brunskill right guard, Mike McGlinchey right tackle. That would be an offensive line that I would look at Jimmy and go, if these dudes are healthy all year, I see no reason why you can't take us to another Super Bowl. Should be able to do it. Work on those throws, work on hitting them things outside the numbers, work on that deep ball. Because that big play that he had against the Saints where he hit Emmanuel Sanders, I mean, he didn't hit him in stride. Emmanuel Sanders had to slow down, catch the ball, fall, get up, and then run. So these are all the things that you see that come to fruition. You know what I mean? When you have the time, and it's having George Kittle's like having an extra offensive lineman. You know what I mean? So sometimes if you have George in there and you got that single back in the backfield, that's that extra dude. And don't know about Juice. Don't know if we're going to bring him back. I'd love to bring him back, but it may not be enough. At 12 penalties, 120 yards. If we could have had all the calls that they missed, man, bro, we probably would have possibly won that game. But it is what it is. No need to dwell on the past. Hey, Kansas City right now is on a streak, man. They went to 2 Super Bowls. They won one, they lost one. But every now and then it's crazy. You go against the GOAT, you get beat. 7 rings, man. 7 rings to 10 Super Bowls. Ain't nobody else could say that. Nobody could say they made 10 of them. Nobody could say they, have 7. Nobody can even say they got more than 5. Only people that could talk any kind of talk to Tom Brady would be either Terry Bradshaw and or Joe Montana, and they still only got 4. So it is what it is, man. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me rant and ramble. Once again, what do you say? Kyle is the problem, and everyone's like, it's gonna be a little bit of everything, man. Ronnie, before I go, I'll tell you this: it's a little bit of Kyle, it's a little bit of the offensive line as well, and it's a little bit of injury stuff, man. And a lot of the time, the issue for me specifically with Kyle is Kyle gets stagnant. Like when it was a situation where we were in the Super Bowl right before halftime, and he didn't call that timeout to try to push the ball down the field, and he just went into halftime. And when they asked him about it, he said, "Oh, I feel comfortable with our lead." You're in the Super Bowl. Do not feel comfortable ever. I don't give a fuck if you're up by 50 points. Keep your foot on the gas, keep your foot on their neck. Make sure they don't have a moment to breathe. You get it going that way. That's exactly how you do that. But there is a little bit of Kyle, there's a little bit of everybody. It's just accountability across the board. So I guess, he could do that, yeah. And Tyrann Matthew said it best. I'm glad they stopped running the ball because we couldn't stop it. So you just have certain things that work, certain things that don't. But y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay faithful. Y'all have a wonderful evening wherever you are in your part of the world. Stay safe. Don't let that COVID get you. Everybody be blessed. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to support the channel, it's been on the ticker the whole time. 49ers Lakers for life. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hopefully, you guys can get back to the Western Conference Finals for the Lakers and get back to getting another ring. And to everybody who came in, Ronnie, Roy Boy, my mom, Matt, who is like my number one supporter. That's my dog. Everybody who came through, man. Everybody who watches the videos. I love and appreciate every last one of you. Head on over to Twitter. I'm at SwiftD. That's SWIFTDEE. If you don't see me on IG, 49er_Dion, as you see right there on the screen. And you already got the channel, so if you watch it, hit that like and subscribe button. If you got friends that love 49er content, definitely tell them go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I'll keep you updated. I don't update on very small and minimal things, only on big things. The only reason I didn't really do a big video on Josh Rosen was because he's a backup. They just signed him, and it is what it is. We touched on the offensive linemen. We touched on the QBs. We touched on the running backs. So now we're going to go ahead and hit that wide receiver position. And I believe, we got a couple more positions to go through. But I'm gonna keep hitting y'all with content. At least give y'all some, a couple videos, a couple times a week. Probably be back tomorrow. Hit y'all up with another video. I might just jump to the defensive side of the ball because we gotta talk about defensive backs, my favorite position, and the fact that we don't have any. What a coincidence. Y'all have a good evening. Y'all stay blessed, stay faithful. I'm out.